It sure is that time, the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio with your boy Omar Duri, live in the heart of Sharjah. And boy, do we have a show for you today, because my next guest happens to be someone that not only is an athlete, but trains athlete and is up there with the very best in the country. Shahir Mekawi is going to be here on the show, and it's about time we get him on the show. And what better time than the halftime show, see what I did there, on Pulse 95 Radio. That's coming up next, and what we're going to be talking about is the athletes that he trains, how he trains. Technology in fitness and health isn't always my biggest, strongest point, so why not pick his brain on that? And also how he stays mentally fit. On the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
And now,
it sure is that time, the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio. Listen, if you guys do miss the show, I don't know why you would. Check us out every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, if you like a podcast, or if you first see a visual of our guests, head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio. And guess what? We are there. We talk about some of the best topics out there, with some of the most important topics out there. And who better than to have on the show the man himself, Shahir Mekawi. Shahir, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much, Omar.
I mean, you've even got a round of applause, man. This is madness in here.
Thank you so much
thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate you coming down. I know you've been super busy. You've been training athletes from all around the world. Talk to me about some of the athletes you have trained, because I know the audience would definitely want to hear this.
Thank you so much for having me first.
My pleasure, man.
On the show. And about the athletes, there's a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start with the most recent, which is Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay, that's big.
The UFC fighter.
That's big. Listen, people wouldn't even try and be in the same room as him because he's intimidating. You get to train him. What's that like?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Very dominant athlete, I would say.
Yes, he is.
Unique of a kind.
Okay.
So training him had to put on all my focus onto that.
Yeah, what makes him unique? Because we see him on the TV and we see his interviews, but you actually get to spend time with him in a stage where he has to switch on in a different kind of light. What makes him unique?
I would say as an athlete, first, before as a human.
Yeah.
As an athlete, the guy is super explosive.
Really?
Super explosive.
Okay. And when you're setting up something like this, do you like reach for the ceiling with your programming? Because you know that you deal with athletes on a daily.
Yes.
But this one is a bit on a different level. We're talking global here. Do you have to change it, or the programming, or how does that go about?
We had to test him.
Yeah.
On a top of the notch equipment.
Yeah.
Every 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So we keep testing him, and every time we excel at something, we had to, we're going to take it up from here, or if something happens, because he was training 3 times a day. So we had to control his recovery, control his nutrition, have everything going. And whenever we find anything dropping because of the tests, we need to recap something up.
Okay, interesting. So that holistic approach is something that a lot of us really dive into. What is it about that you have to kind of modify sometimes for those people that are wondering when you say, replace or drop? What is it? What is the type of things you have to kind of switch up sometimes?
It's mainly about the intensity of the training.
Right.
It's how we need to play. There's a lot mentally that goes on before the fight.
Yeah.
So I can't keep pushing him too much.
Yeah.
His central nervous system will fail.
Yes.
We don't want to reach that point.
Yeah.
So we have to keep it, how's he mentally going?
Yeah.
And keep the training up with that.
Okay. How do you, I'm really intrigued now I'm just being a geek, but how do you monitor things like his sleep? Because I know that will affect the way he sees you the next day.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you guys monitor that, or is that something based on how he feels or what he tells you? How does that go about?
There are gadgets out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to market anything.
Right here.
I'm not gonna, but there are gadgets that can be used to monitor sleep.
Yes.
And that we use that.
Okay.
And also by talking to him and knowing how he feels, he's a very intimate guy.
Yeah.
So once he feels comfortable, he starts talking.
Okay.
Which is what I expected from him, and this is what he talks. He doesn't hide anything.
Okay.
So he shares. The more he shares, the more an athlete should share or does share with his coach.
Yes.
The more the coach could know, the more that I could adapt to how he feels.
Yeah. That transparency is super key. And compared to the other athletes now, and you've trained other athletes as well, how have they been different? And also, which kind of athletes? Is it from the same sport or different sports that you train?
It's same as in the combat sports.
Yes.
So either jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, or MMA. So it's around combat.
Yes.
All of them. It just differs the type of sport that they do.
Right.
So in jiu-jitsu, we focus on certain things.
Yes.
Kickboxing or boxing, other stuff.
Yes.
MMA, just full rounded.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. We see normally like how these athletes train when they've got literally 3 or 4 opponents waiting for them to literally go through each one of them in a conditioning round. For those that don't understand that, why do coaches line them up for them, and what's the purpose of it?
So we have a word in the street. We call it the Shark Tank.
Yes. I didn't want to say that in case they switch off, because I said it. But I'm glad you said it. So tell me about the Shark Tank.
Yeah. So this is how we put up the conditioning so high without putting the risk of injury into it.
Right.
So each one of these athletes performs a certain thing. So one of them is going to go full on in wrestling, one of them is going to go full on jiu-jitsu, one of them is going to go very light sparring, and then maybe pad work at the end.
Yes.
And then maybe an actual conditioning equipment, maybe an assault bike or ski erg or something like that. So the whole point of that is to keep the conditioning way up and decreasing the risk of injury as much as we can.
Interesting. Is that like a minute each?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on the intensity and where we are in the camp.
Right. Okay. So if someone was getting ready for, let's say, I'm trying to paint this picture now, a 5-minute round, and you were trying to set this up, you would put like a discipline on each minute to try and condition them to really push them to their limits without getting injured.
Exactly.
Yes. Love it. Yes. And we are here live on Pulse 95 Radio. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with the man himself, Shahir Mekawi.
And now,
Halftime show, Pulse 95 Radio with your boy Omar Duri. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or if you're chilling at home, watching us live on YouTube. Thank you very much for connecting. Shahir Mekawi is on the show today. Yeah, man, I'm excited too. Shahir, talk to me about technology, man. Technology is something that we've had a hot and cold relationship on the show. Sometimes I'm all for it, as you can tell by things that I'm wearing and applications, all that kind of stuff. We kind of dived into it a bit in the first segment. How do you stay on top of it?
Okay, so technology has taken us to a different level, okay, with all this AI generated stuff. But it kind of cut out the human side of it. So we can't, I would say from my own brain, I cannot depend 100% on it when it comes to training athletes.
Okay.
So it has to have the edge of the interference of the coach. Inside.
Yeah.
I can't say, okay, AI generate this for me, and we'll just leave it for technology because we're humans.
Yeah.
So we change, and everything changes around us.
Yes.
So if we just leave it for technology and technology does it for us, then where's the human side? Where's the customization side of that?
Yes. I also noticed that by the way you're talking, it may have been something that you were skeptical of before, but now you've actually modified yourself and you actually have your own app. So how did you get from going into someone who said, you know what, no, not doing it, it's not humanly, I can't be there, I can't physically help that person, to now having your own app?
So Fight Ready is the app.
Okay.
It was there because I was totally against it, as you said. We talked about it before, that I felt that everything now is being AI generated, and I wanted to be different on that. I wanted to customize everything, every single detail to my athletes.
Yes.
Whether they're here in the UAE or whether they're abroad, I wanted to reach everyone with a tailored program and tailored nutrition, not just leave it there for technology. And this is what I do on Fight Ready, is to prep athletes across the board and just tailor every single detail for them.
How do you manage to, because that takes, for those that don't know, that takes so much time, man, and energy. How do you stay on top of that?
Well, it takes some effort,
yeah.
But out of time of your day when you're used to programming, you just need to know the athlete very well. So you talk to them. If they're abroad, then it's a Zoom call or whatever, and I continuously have 2 Zoom calls with them per week.
Okay.
Knowing how they're going, how they're feeling, what's going through their head, because it can change from a Monday. He's fresh throughout the week, and then all the way into the week, then things start going down. So I need to know how they feel.
Yeah.
And my athletes here in the UAE, I try to meet them twice a week at least, to see them, to see how they're doing in life.
Yeah.
It's not just training.
Yes.
It's everything around it.
Yes. And another thing for the aspiring coaches that listen to the show, time management is super key in making this work. Am I right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so with that, how do you manage that? Do you allocate a certain amount of hours a week or a day to these people?
What I do, I take 2 hours per day.
Okay.
So I cannot bombard myself with too many meetings or too many calls with my athletes, because everything is going to go into each other. So what I do is that this is the hours that I do per day, and this is what I focus on. So I'm going to take on 2 athletes per day. I'm going to talk to them to understand, to have my own time to program everything right for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I don't want to say it's underrated, but it's definitely undervalued in you putting that time and effort in a day, because your energy needs to be on point for them as well. So after the break and after the Adhan, we're going to talk about how you reset and stuff. But just very, very quickly, when you allocate this time for them, do you have to get yourself ready for it? Do you have to put it at a certain time of the day to make sure they get the best out of you?
Out of me, no, I need to get the best out of them.
Right.
Their priority.
Okay.
So everything for me is recorded.
Yes.
I write everything down.
Nice.
And they are priority. Not me. So I will try to get them on their sharpest time.
Yes. So you pretty much stay on point, and then you just make sure that you get them when they're ready.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. We're going to take a quick break. We've got the news and we have the Adhan obviously coming up. But what I also want to focus on when we get back is how he resets. Yes, I use that word. And how he stays mentally fit. Because a lot of the times we talk to coaches and athletes from all around the world about about the physicality, but I want to know more about also the mental side. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
And now,
that wasn't the beat you were expecting. Welcome to the Halftime Show, Pulse 95 Radio. We're here having a good time, good vibes, good energy with Shahir Mekawi on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah, if I haven't mentioned that already. Now, one of the things I always like to ask my guests, for obvious reasons, plug, is how they reset, because I'm very interested in the mental side of the game. And I actually really am looking forward to this one, because there's a lot behind this one. So, Shahir, with all the suspense that people are waiting for, how do you reset?
Okay, honestly, there's 2 ways. Okay, one of them is prayer.
Okay.
That we don't have to wait until something goes bad to go back to prayer.
Yeah.
So prayer is always there. It helps you stay grounded. It helps you focus.
Yeah.
So this is one side. And then the other side is having a mentor, which is His Excellency Sheikh Tariq Qasmi.
We have to give him a big shout out here,
Of course.
We love him here on the show, man. Go on, carry on.
So as having him as a mentor,
and
I would love to say this, and it's an honor to say as a second father, he was always there to guide me, to tell me this is the path, this is how you're supposed to pave your path.
Yeah.
And in life, we have stops, we doubt ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
And when you have a mentor to go back to and ask for advice, and what do you think's right, what do you think I should do here, and then he guides you in the right way, and tells you this is how it's done, this is a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just a blessing. I think it's also something that when you find that right person like you have, it's an umbrella that really does save you a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of issues, a lot of obstacles. Of course, we learn them ourselves, but that element and the cross between the meditation side or the spirituality side, which we mentioned, and then having the right person to go to when in need, is that the way that you strike the right balance? Because you come across as quite a grounded person. Does that help with your character and your personality in the field that you do?
Of course it does.
Okay.
Because in this industry, your ego can boost up super fast, and that's not right. Because if the rocket shoots up fast, it goes down fast.
Correct.
So nobody likes an egotistical person.
Yes.
So the more you're grounded, the more that you have the right people around you guiding you.
Yeah.
To tell you, okay, if we all of us at some point we divert a little bit.
Yeah.
And just somebody pushing you back slowly, making you understand that stay focused, stay on your path.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
This is the right thing.
I smiled stay in lane because I follow you on social media. How can we follow you on social media?
On Instagram.
Yeah.
That's one of them, Shahir Mekawi.
Okay.
Or download my app, Fight Ready.
Okay. And what can we expect from your app?
Sign up and then we take it from there. There's two things.
Yeah.
Either we go fully online, we program everything that you're fully online, or we go hybrid, which is we train some of the times on ground, and I get to see you twice a week. We train together then, and the rest you train alone. So it's the mix, you know. You get the best of both worlds together.
Yes, they get to see you twice a week, man. They're lucky. I saw him once and I'm happy. I'm Fight Ready. Thank you very much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
What an absolute pleasure. It was great having you on. Very, very good energy, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come to us on Halftime Show.
Thank you, Omar.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with one more segment.
And now,
it sure is that time, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio. Now, one of the things that obviously we love talking about here on the show is the Asia Cup, which is happening right now, and we are super excited that UAE have qualified. Now, it has been a bumpy road for the UAE, but the fact that they have qualified and secured the last 16 spot is massive. Not only that, because it was nail-biting yesterday, there was so many things on the line, and the fact they were coming up against Iran, which is a very, very tough team, was something else we had to also factor. The national team will meet Tajikistan in the round of 16, but because of the goal difference, obviously, and a lot of fans around the world really tuned into it, the fact that the UAE did lose the result 2-1, they actually gained the qualification at the end of it because of the goal difference. So the UAE national football team has qualified for the last 16 of the Asian Football Cup despite the loss. So if those people had watched the game and thought, oh God, we lost, well, we might have lost the game, but we did not lose hope of continuing the journey. And anyone that knows cup competitions, especially at the highest level, we know that you just need to get through the group stages. If you get through the group stages, plenty of people reset, recycle, and re-energize themselves for the qualifying stage, because then it becomes knockout stages, which means that as a coach, you change your game plan to win that game. And now that the UAE are in this position now, they may have not had the best of starts, they may have been bumpy, but now they have a chance to progress. Any mistakes, any suspensions, any small injuries now have to be taken very, very seriously, because it's one game that they have to win. And knowing the way that these competitions progress, it's super key to be able to manage expectations and also have those players that maybe might have shown signs in training that they are ready. That one kid that might be there in the squad that has his 10 minutes at the end, who might change the game, might be ready. It could be anyone in the UAE team that performs against Tajikistan. And by the way, Morning Majlis, I have a bone to pick with you as well, because you said Iraq wouldn't beat Japan, and guess what they did? And I heard you this morning as well talking about Vietnam. Well, it's happening right now, so I won't say anything until the show's over, and then maybe I will mention you on Saturday. That beef is on Morning Majlis. The Halftime Show on Morning Majlis, well, Rania's on my side, we know that. But everyone else, I've got my eyes on you. Don't worry about that. Anyway, it's full time on the Halftime Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Shahir Mekawi was wicked, man. What a show. You can catch the whole episode on YouTube, by the way, if you missed it. Why did you miss it? If you did miss it, catch the whole episode on YouTube And also, it's going to be up on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud if you prefer a podcast. If you go for a morning walk and you want to chill and the weather's great in Sharjah, then hey, listen to us here on Pulse 95 Radio. Guys, full-time, halftime show. I'm out. Coming up next is the wonderful Aisha and Mazmi. Take care, stay blessed, have a lovely day. Love you guys. I'm out.